Hello and welcome to Cricket Adda presents IPL 2020 qualification scenarios. 46 matches have been completed and none of the 8 teams still have a queue besides them. One team has been eliminated. We will talk about that team, but still no team has qualified for the playoffs. The race for the playoffs is just getting tougher and tougher day by day. Yesterday, we saw a classic game between Kings 11 Punjab and Kolkata Knight Riders, which makes things even more trickier for Kolkata Knight Riders, not for Kings 11 Punjab. We have four panelists for the day. As usual, Ninad Lakde from Bahrain. Sumant Dangi is back in India from Gaya. Shresh Kadam from Daman and Shikhar Sarang from Surat. So six people have joined us on the stream, and I would like to request them that you can ask your questions, and we will try and answer them. So please start asking your questions in the chat. Now let's start with the team at the bottom, which everybody's surprised with. For the first time in the history of the IPL, Chennai Super Kings are not going to make the playoffs. Sumant Damgi, one of CSK fans, is with us. Sumant, what happened? What's gone wrong? And how much does it hurt?
Okay, as a CSK fan, I am devastated because look, CSK has made the playoffs every single season that they have played, I think. So for them to slip from the top four directly to the eighth position is nothing short of a miracle. But there are a lot of factors that have gone into this, obviously. And one of those factors is the inconsistency shown by the CSK batsmen. So they've performed in bouts, they performed in one or two matches, but the entire batting unit really hasn't fired in the entire season. We've seen glimpses of excellence from Sam Curran. We've seen excellent batting from Ruturaj Gaikwad in the last match with RCB. We've seen a few, decent performances here and there from Shane Watson and Faf du Plessis, but as a batting unit, they just haven't fired, and that has cost them dearly. And again, fielding is one of the most crucial aspects of this game, and CSK has lagged behind in the fielding aspects as well, which has they haven't been able to save runs, they haven't been able to take wickets, which they could have. And as an MS Dhoni fan, I don't want to say this, but it is the truth. MS Dhoni has erred in his selections this year. The 11s that he selected have been very, you know, strange because if a player is not performing for 10 games straight, um, you would bring in another player and try him out. But as the recent social media outrage about his spark comment shows, MS Dhoni believed that none of the younger and inexperienced players had the required level or potential to replace one of the older players. So he didn't bring them in the 11, and now they're at the bottom of the table and out of the IPL. So yeah, a lot of factors went into it, but very disappointing for CSK fans.
Yeah, very, very disappointing for CSK fans. We are getting some comments. CSK nahi ho paega. Yeah, this year it's not going to happen for CSK because officially they have been
Yeah, they've
eliminated.
already been eliminated.
Yeah. So Nina, the question for you, रोहित पाजी का क्या सीन है? फील्डिंग पे तो प्रैक्टिस करते दिखते हैं, दिखते थे आज. Yeah, so the Mumbai Indians have put out a photo of Rohit Sharma practicing in the net. But having said that, he wasn't picked for in any of the three squads for the Australia too. So to be honest, even we don't know what's the scene with Rohit Sharma, isn't it, Ninad?
Yeah, I would agree to the same because probably international cricket, I don't know what the BCCI is thinking, but in the IPL, he didn't play last game because he was not completely fit. And since the other players, Ishan Kishan, Surya Kumar Yadav, they seemed in great touch, so they thought that they would give Rohit a day off. And since they're already at the top of the table, they were already on the top of the table and had another extra game in hand. So it was uh, it was a good decision that they took. They didn't want to risk his fitness.
Yeah, so before we move on to the next team, just let's quickly finish on Chennai Super Kings here. Shikhar, if I could get you on this, what do you think are the future plans of CSK? Because can CSK sustain with this team in the next season, 2021? Because as Sumant mentioned, Shane Watson, Imran Tahir, everybody is 40, close to 40, and the fitness levels are not there. Even MS Dhoni, which I'm not sure about his fitness, not sure about his batting form as well. He hasn't fired with the bat, but being the captain, he has to be there, as he mentioned. So, and he mentioned that there is no spark in the youngsters, but we saw that Ruturaj Gaikwad has played a fabulous inning. So, can they sustain this team for one more season? Because we don't have a fresh auction next year.
Yeah, like they need some replacement because if you see like two of the foreign players are not being able to play good, like Watson and DJ Bravo. So they need something like if there is no auction this year, I might fear that next season it would be same for CSK because even if Reina gets in, I don't think that they have dead bowling options either or then I guess if they need to, there should be some luck in their favor, and that the youngsters, we see that Monu Singh was tried last night, like in the last game, and Ruturaj Gaikwad has been doing good, like he looked in touch in the last game, and even Jagdish Ran looked great touch. Like the one match he played in mid season, I guess, against he scored 30 odd runs. He was looking good. So I guess if they need backup, and I think if Raina comes in next season, then they might have some chances. But if there is no auction, then I don't think that the situation will change. But we cannot change anything here because like usually in normal times after in 2 3 like in December we have the auctions, and I don't see that coming. So they need to address this change problems.
Yeah. So, is there any chances of CSK to qualify? The answer is no. We answered that because CSK is officially eliminated. Shreyash Kadam is our new panelist, and let's get him in on this. Shreyash, even though CSK can't qualify, they can play a spoiled sport. They can hamper the chances of Kolkata Knight Riders and Kings Eleven Punjab because they have both their games against these two teams who are seriously in contention for the fourth spot, isn't it? They can
Yeah,
just,
that
yeah.
yeah, they can spoil the meal for KKR and K11P, but I think K11P are currently in great form, and K11P will surely take over CSK in their game. About KKR, I'm sure that I'm not very sure, but I think CSK can at least win this one. But with K11P, I'm sure that K11P will surely qualify in top four.
Okay, so some strong views there. Kings Eleven Punjab is in the top four for Shreyash Kadam. Let's move on to the next team, and I think it's Sunrisers Hyderabad at number seven, and they failed to chase 127, which has made things difficult for them. And the most important thing is, Ninad, if I can get you on this, look at the fixtures which they have. Delhi Capitals, who are second on the points table, Royal Challengers Bangalore, who are third on the points table, and Mumbai Indians, who are first on the points table. This is a tough road ahead for SRH, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say after CSK, I mean, mathematically, SRH qualifying is still possible, but realistically speaking, it doesn't seem so because, yeah, they're against the top three teams of the season. And right now, Delhi Capitals, not exactly finding the winning mantra here, but still a really good team to be playing against. And I mean, Shikhar Dhawan in brilliant form, except his last innings. Yeah, he hit two back-to-back hundreds, so they will definitely be riding on that. And obviously, Kagiso Rabada, he's been rolling brilliantly in the power play and throughout the death. And even their spin attack is quite supporting it. Ashwin's doing a good job along with Akshar Patel to choke the flow of runs and take those crucial wickets in the middle overs. And the same goes with RCB as well. I mean, Virat Kohli looks to have come back in form, even though he's not playing those uh, quick fire knocks that he used to play before. He is slowly getting up there, and in fact, I guess he's still in the top five run getters this season. And yes, Emma is also a really tough team to play against. They were kind of off element in their previous game, but taking that aside, they are the hot contenders this IPL. So yeah.
Yeah, Shikhar, if I can get you on this, is there any chance? There's a question coming in. Is there any chance of top three teams to have downfall and not qualify? So yeah, mathematically it is possible because if one of the top three teams loses all their three games, they remain at 14 points, and 14 doesn't guarantee a spot. Yeah, Shikhar, about SRH, the maximum they can get is to 14. The only positive thing for SRH is their net run rate. It's in positive at the moment. So even if they get to 14, first of all, they have to get to 14, which looks really difficult. But what are your views on SRH? How are they going, and what do you think? Their current form doesn't look that inspiring as well.
Yeah, yeah, but the positives for SRH is like David Warner played a good innings last match, and then last match Manish Pandey showed some form. So, and the main thing is like today is their match with DC,
Yeah,
and we have seen that I think Pant was limping in last match, if I'm not wrong, and DC is on like a bit of downfall. So they can think that if they give win against DC, and they put mental kind of a mental pressure on DC because like they have lost few more games in the recent past, so they might think of having chance like to think of having chances to get in the qualifying for qualifying. Yeah, like if they demoralize the DC.
yeah.
So
So
today's game will
there
be
is a
like more.
mathematical chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shresh, let's move on to the next team. Let's talk about the Rajasthan Royals, whose Ben Stokes finally came into form with a fabulous century against your favorite team, Mumbai Indians. So that helps, isn't it? Because if you beat the number one team, then you are high on confidence as a team and as a player.
Yes, Rajasthan have already always been with Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians have dominated each and every team in IPL, but Rajasthan is only the one team who has equaled up with Mumbai Indians after last match. So I think Rajasthan is back in form, but I think Jaiswal should be given the opportunity to open again because he has shown a lot of uh, good strokes in first few matches. So that is my view about Rajasthan.
Yeah, Sumant, if you can give more details about Rajasthan Royals. Once again, just like Sunrisers Hyderabad, the thing about Rajasthan Royals is that they can get to maximum of 14 points. 14 doesn't guarantee you a qualification for the playoffs because you are depending on other results. But the first thing they have to do is they have to get to 14. And let's check what their fixtures are. They play Punjab and KKR. So if they win both these games, they hamper the chances of Punjab and Kolkata. So it's really important that they win these two games and win big because net run rate is going to come into play for the fourth spot, isn't it?
Yep. Shubham, what how I see it is in the upcoming games, it's going to be very closely fought battles and very interesting battles because all the teams are scrambling for those top four spots now. And if you look at Rajasthan, they're coming off the back of a brilliant win against Mumbai Indians. So obviously that will give them an insane level of confidence. Ben Stokes just is coming off a century, and Rajasthan have beat one of the best teams in the tournament this year. So they will have a really tight game with Kings 11 Punjab, and Punjab are also not one to back down. They they have, I think, I was reading a stat somewhere. They've won their last 5 games.
Yeah.
They won 5 games on the trot. So that's an incredible feat. They're basically doing what Mumbai Indians has done in previous seasons, just coming and storming back into the IPL. So I wrote this in a comment somewhere. Kings 11 are basically rising like a phoenix from the ashes this year, and that's what they're doing. So it'll be a very closely contested game because all the players are now looking in form, both for Rajasthan and for Kings 11. So yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup. And with KKR, KKR they have lost their last game. I don't quite remember who it was
Yeah.
against,
Yeah, they
but
lost yesterday. Yeah.
yeah, they lost yesterday. So they will be down on confidence, but they will still be looking to bounce back. Because with KKR, what we've seen is that a lot of the pressure of scoring runs has fallen onto the shoulders of Shubman Gill and Owen Morgan. because we saw Dinesh Karthik step down as captain in the middle of the season to focus on his batting. And I've seen some jokes around saying that Karthik's batting has gotten worse after he left captaincy. So that's the failure of the other batsmen in the top order is putting a lot of pressure on the other batsmen in the lineup, and that's obviously making it hard for the entire team. But they've had some good performances by Nitish Rana, by Shubman Gill, Sunil Narayan, Owen Morgan, Pat Cummins, and Tripathi. So they will be looking to bounce back against Rajasthan. So at this point, we can't really say who's going to win. All these teams are raring to go, and they're struggling to get those 2 points and climb up the points table.
Yeah, interesting points made there about Dinesh Karthik's batting, and I agree with you. It's just gone worse because he's not getting into double digits after he left captaincy, after he resigned as a captain. Few interesting comments coming in for Rajasthan to qualify. CSK need to win both their matches. That will definitely help because CSK play against Punjab and KKR. So if CSK win those two games, that means Punjab and KKR will lose those two games, which will help Rajasthan Royals because if they win, they also win these two games, then Punjab and KKR will get stuck at 12 points, and Rajasthan can go ahead with 14. So interesting scenarios there. Let's move on to the next team, which is the Kolkata Knight Riders, and already some comments were made about it. And I would like to get Ninad in here for Kolkata Knight Riders. They play Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals, yes, absolutely right there. They play Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals, but yesterday they lost a game which they could have won if they would have started well. Losing three in the power play never helps. Dinesh Karthik just doesn't know what he's doing. Nitish Rana got a good score against Delhi and then gets a first ball duck. Then Rahul Tripathi as well after that 81 hasn't really fired with the bat. So do you think KK are just experimenting too much with their batting order?
Yes, I guess it is true. They are kind of playing around with it. They need a stable batting order because the reason is that none of them have settled, and that's probably why they are experimenting. They're trying to find that winning combination, but I think it is a bit too late and risky because it's the business end of the tournament right now. But yeah, Narayan seems to be settling quite well into the number five role that they've given him. He played a really good knock against Delhi. But then the thing with KKR is they cannot exactly bank on Narayan always to get them off to a flying start or accelerate to the middle overs. Their main batsmen should step up and a few consistent knocks should be shown. Shubman Gill's playing pretty well, but he needs to up his strike rate. It's below 120 right now, and for an opener whose team's middle order isn't quite firing, it is a area of concern. So yeah, against CSK they should have good chances to win because I mean in this tournament CSK hasn't really performed well and they could take advantage of that. So yeah, if they should play a pretty good game of cricket against CSK and RR to qualify.
Yeah, so the point with Kolkata Knight Riders is even if they win both their matches, they reach 16 points. And if Punjab wins their both matches, they reach 16 points. And Punjab have a better net run rate than Kolkata Knight Riders. So, Shreyash, if we can get you on this, Kolkata Knight Riders, you mentioned that they might not as well win against CSK because they are struggling at the moment. So, your thoughts on Kolkata Knight Riders and how they are going, and what are the changes they can make in their 11 to win the next two games?
Yeah, right from the start, the batting has been an issue with KKR. They don't have a proper batting lineup ready. I mean, the positions of players are not what you say,
Yeah.
not fixed yet, and they also changed their captain in between. So there has been a lot of issue with the team management as well. And I feel that CSK will now play for their pride, and CSK will surely take on KKR easily. And talking about Kings 11, they are in great form. As you know, they have already won last five matches after after KL came into their team. So I think he will carry on his form, and you know Gale Storm already. He will surely take everything on his shoulders and win it for Kings 11. That's what
Yes.
I feel.
Yeah. Yes, some nice points made there. Shikhar, if you can quickly answer this, I'm sorry, but DK should be dropped and another wicket keeper batsman should be given a chance. What are your views on this?
See, like you're gonna drop a player like DK like for a few innings. Like not there have been quite a few, but still he had scored a 50 against Punjab, where everyone was struggling. Everyone was playing with low strike rate. He just came and quick fired it, and if I remember, the last match. Like once he even scored quick fire 20, 30 odd runs against like coming down. And the major concern for KKR is here is like because Andrew Russell is not there and you cannot compare Andrew Russell's and Sunil Narayan's batting. So the main problem is there in batting order. Like they are trying to adjust Sunil Narayan in a way that he everyone like that the team is benefited. So so there is a problem. And one thing I would like to say, like, if, I don't think that there is a point in playing four fast bowlers because they are playing two Indian pacers and two foreign pacers. Guess like they can come in, the Kuldeep Yadav can come in for any of the Indian pacer because if you see, teams have started playing Varun Chakravarti, like they are telling that we will get 20 runs out of his forward, but we won't give him wickets, and that's possible because if you try to just take singles on Varun Chakravarti, it's impossible because he's just a mystic kind of spinner. But if you just keep an eye on the ball, you will be able to take few runs and single double and just take his over out. But if you see Kuldeep Yadav, he's a great spinner. He has international experience with on his like with him, and he's a wrist spinner. So even if you try to defend him, he has that googlies and he has that caliber to take wickets. So that can be an option for KKR. So then if you take that way, then you can bowl an over of Sunil Narayan or Varun Chakravarti in power play, and then take all the 4 overs of Kuldeep Yadav in the middle phase. Then in that way, that KKR can be benefited.
Yes, some interesting choices. Kuldeep Yadav, I like Kuldeep Yadav. He should be in the team, but at the moment they're not finding a place for him. Having said that, Varun Chakravarti has been picked for the Indian T20 squad, so that's a huge news for him. Do KKR have another wicket-keeping options? Ninad Lakde answered that in the chat, saying that they have Tom Banton. They they also have Tim
They also got
Seifert.
team Cypher, yeah.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
replacement
They
of
signed
Ali
Tim
Khan.
Seifert for Ali Khan, which was first of all a surprising replacement option because fast bowler getting replaced and you fast bowler getting injured and you are replacing him with a wicketkeeper batsman that doesn't work to be honest. And they also have Nikhil Naik, which is an Indian option, but I don't think he is really experienced and hasn't played at this level just a couple of games. So you can't really rely on somebody like an Nikhil Naik at this stage of the tournament where it's the business end. Sumant, let's talk about Kings 11 Punjab. And Shreyash mentioned that the universe boss. Is he the difference? Because as soon as he came into the team, 5 matches on the trot, no losses, all wins, and the universe boss is the difference, isn't it?
Yes, sometimes when you looked at Kings 11 Punjab at the beginning of the season and they were going through this rough patch of losing so many games, the question on everyone's mind was, where is Christopher Henry Gale? Where is he? Why is he not in the 11? And when they finally brought him in, obviously he's made a huge difference. He has hammered ballers to all parts of the park, and he's contributed to the team in a winning cause in all the matches. So Kings 11 Punjab, their batting has been their strength this season, and later on as the tournament progressed, their bowlers also stepped up. One classic example that I would like to talk about is the thrilling super overs with the Mumbai Indians. Not even one super over, two super overs. Obviously, that super over could have been avoided if the last batsman, I don't remember who it was, but he ran an extra 5 meters or so and got run
Yeah,
out.
Chris
So
Jordan. Yeah,
that,
Chris Jordan.
yes, Chris Jordan. That could have been avoided, but that's all, in the past. Obviously, it happened. But in the super overs, at the beginning, everyone thought Kings 11 Punjab has just lost this game. They have snatched lost from the jaws of victory. That's literally what they did. Because on the opposite end, there were bowlers like Trent Bolt and Jasprit Bumrah, who we know are amazing bowlers, and Jasprit has proved again and again how good of a bowler he is in pressure situations, and he's defended very low scores in super overs in the past as well. So everyone thought that Kings 11 Punjab was done and dusted over there, but no. On the other end, Muhammad Shami and uh, I don't remember who the other bowler was. It Chris Jordan?
Chris Jordan, yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah,
yes.
Jordan.
Yep. So these two bowled amazingly, and they won it for Kings 11 Punjab. And they have two other bowlers who've really shone this season, and those are uh, this guy Ravi
Ravi
Bishnoi.
Bishnoi, yeah.
And yes, Ravi Bishnoi, he's performed brilliantly for Kings of Punjab, and Arshdeep Singh, the fast bowler. So what's happening is, since Ravi Bishnoi and Arshdeep Singh are bowling well on one end, on the other end, Chris Jordan and Shami are also bowling well. So it's creating this pressure on the opposite, on the opponent teams, which they're not able to handle. So throughout the innings, they're putting pressure on the opposition batsmen and not allowing them to score. And then when their turn comes to bat, they have players like KL Rahul, Mike Agarwal, Chris Gale. Just those three are just enough to decimate any bowling attack. But they have other players down the order who are performing really well as well. So Mandeep Singh in the last game, he scored a brilliant
Brilliant.
50, which was
Brilliant.
commendable. And if you follow cricket news, you would know that Mandeep Singh is coming off a personal tragedy. His father passed away, I believe.
Yeah.
So just the level of commitment this man has to, after such a personal loss, to go out there and fight for his team and play in a crucial match is just commendable.
Yeah, I agree with Suman there. Mandeep Singh, huge respect for that guy coming in at the top of the order and scoring that crucial 50 with Chris Gale. Ninad on our WhatsApp group is every day saying that Kings 11 Punjab is going to qualify as the fourth team, and he's just showing their momentum that they have won five in a row, and now they need two more to win in a row. Ninad, can they sustain that winning momentum for two more games with the same team? Because now that they don't want to make many changes. This team is working for them. They play Rajasthan Royals and Chennai Super Kings. Not that difficult games. Can they sustain for two more games?
Yeah, I mean the kind of class that Kings 11 Punjab carry in their squad is phenomenal, and they've already beat the top teams of the season back to back. So there's obviously every chance that they're going to beat Rajasthan and CSK as well. And yeah, they look to my favorites to probably be contention for the fourth spot. And probably if the top three teams mess up, they have a chance to shoot up to the third place. But essentially, it's not going to make much of a difference because yeah, third and fourth play the eliminator.
Yeah, exactly. We will see the playoffs, how they work, the first and second place, and then third and fourth place. We'll see that in some time. Let's move on from Kings 11 Punjab to the top three teams now. Top three teams: Delhi Capitals, Royal Challengers Bangalore, and Mumbai Indians. All three at the same position. 11 games, 7 wins, 14 points, 4 losses. That's what they stand right at the moment. Shreyas, let's get you on this. Who do you think are going to make the top two? Because they're just neck and neck. Nobody is willing to move from there. Everybody at the same position, and everybody plays each other in the next 7 to 8 days. RCB play MI, DC plays MI, and then DC play RCB as well. And all three teams play SRH as well. So everybody has similar kind of fixtures for the next 7 8 days. So what do you think? How is it going to move?
See, I think MI is already in a great form, and even though they lost the last game, but they put up a really good cricket. So I think MI is there in top two for sure. And talking about RCB and DC, I think RCB has a slight upper edge over DC because DC hasn't won last two games, and they also dropped Prithvi Shaw. It seems they dropped Prithvi Shaw, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think their batting order is also not cemented well, and that's why I feel that RCB have a slight upper edge over DC in that case, because RCB's batting lineup is of course better than DC right now. So I think RCB will be on the second spot, and DC will come down to third spot. That's what I feel. But today there is a match of DC, and let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, DC played today against Sunrisers Hyderabad in about 30 minutes. So that's a really important game, not only for SRH but for DC because they have lost two in a row. If they lose, if they lose this game, the pressure starts mounting on them. As Shreyash mentioned, they have dropped Prithvi Shaw, got in Ajinkya Rahane, who got out for a first World Cup. So that didn't work. Rishabh Pant looks horribly out of form at the moment. So it's really tough times for the Delhi Capitals at the moment. Shikhar, if I can get you on Delhi Capitals, Shikhar Dhawan is playing beautifully, isn't he? A couple of hundreds, and obviously didn't play in the last game, but he has been phenomenal up till now for Delhi Capitals.
Yeah, like with every negatives comes positive. Like we see that saw that Rishabh Pant got injured and they had to get two force change. But then Shikhar Dhawan started playing well and he was like hitting the ball like anything. So I guess for DC, it won't be difficult if they win today's match. They will be calm and they might think of getting into top two. And if they win today's game, they are surely going to win the top two because since the starting of the season, we have been telling that MI and DC are the best teams on paper, and they have shown that they are the best teams. The only concern with DC is like they don't have to get demotivated due to the last two games, and the fact might the in the back of the management side there is a fact there can be a fact that the top five teams can
Yeah,
get 16
yeah,
points. Like if all the three gets two wins and one loss, no sorry, one win and two losses, and KKR and KXIB wins both the game, then five teams will have 16 points, and then a team won't qualify even after getting 16 points. So that would be in back of mind of the back management side. But I think if they win today's game, they're surely going to end in the top two because they're a great side. They have great support staff as well, and they've been playing good cricket.
yeah. I agree with you, Shikhar. There. Just a quick update. The people in the chat are updating us. The Delhi Capitals have won the toss, and they have opted to bowl first on a dry Dubai wicket. The Dubai wicket is getting slower and slower. 145, 150 is a par score, so I don't know why they're chasing. Could have batted first and scored 160, 170 and put pressure on the Sunrisers Hyderabad. A lot of comments coming in. We'll move on to RCB and Mumbai Indians. Comment coming in. Shresh Kadam, MI won't be in top two, so direct, direct about Mumbai Indians. But first, let's talk about Royal Challengers Bangalore and Sumant. RCB for the first time is not at the bottom of the table, but are in the top four, and that's good signs for RCB fans, isn't it?
Yep, RCB fans will be relieved this year that they don't have to pick up the calculators. Now it's and other teams who are doing that. So a lot of factors have gone into Royal Challenger Bangalore's success this year, and one of them obviously is the settled batting lineup that they have now. Because this new player, David Padikal, he's an uncapped player, I believe. He's come up at the top of the order for RCB, and he's batted brilliantly throughout the tournament. Then their star players, Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, they've always performed, and we've seen AB win the matches, amazing matches this season as well. And Virat Kohli has also come back to form in the last several games, and he's batting beautifully. Then at the in the bowler side, we see these players like Washington Sundar, Muhammad Siraj. They are bowling amazingly. We recently saw Muhammad Siraj in that last game, I don't remember who it was against, but he bowled brilliantly. He had, I believe, two or three super quick wickets, and there was an amazing spell by Mohammad Suraj that he will remember for a long, long time. Navdeep Saini as well. He's earned another national call up. He's been amazing for RCB as well. So these two have really kept things tight at the bowling end. And overall, this team, they're just brimming with confidence now. Earlier, we saw in previous seasons that because of all these back-to-back losses, RCB, their morale was down because a few players were performing, but the others weren't. They simply weren't. So uh, that many losses brings down a team's morale, and this time they performed well throughout the tournament. So their morale is high. Virat Kohli is pumped up. All the players are pumped up, and they will definitely look to claim the top two spots, at least one, two, or three.
Yeah. Yeah, big news coming in. Big news coming in. Sunrisers Hyderabad have made three changes. No Bairstow, no Priyam Garg, and no Khalil Ahmed. They have got in Kane Williamson. Riddiman Saha is the wicketkeeper, and Shabaz Nadeem is the left arm orthodox spinner. Ninad Lakde, are they pressing the panic button? Three changes in a
Um,
almost a knockout game.
yes, probably they are, or maybe they're winning. The combination didn't just work last game, so probably thinking to tinker with the order a bit. But yeah, Kane Williamson looks to be in good touch.
Yeah,
So and Shaban is Nadeem as well. So I guess I mean
but yeah,
I really don't have much to say
who
about
opens now?
SRH.
Is it Warner and Williamson, or is it Warner and Ridhwan Shah? Because Saha in the middle order is not a great choice.
Yeah, I would say Saha is a player suited to open in the top order. He can give quick acceleration. So I think Warner and Saha, while Williamson, he's a really mature player, so he can play the anchor role and come in probably one down.
Yeah, so we will be having an eye on that game once it starts at 7:30. SRH management is taking bad decisions, says Raghav Shah in the comment section. From the Royal Challengers Bangalore to the Mumbai Indians, Shreyash, let's get you on this. We were having comments that MI is not making the top two. What are your views on that?
See, as an MI fan, I would say that Mumbai will be in top two, and in fact, it will top the table and at the end. And it's you already know the performance of Mumbai has been evident for it, and yeah, I feel that CSK, if CSK would have been in top four, it would be really good because CSK versus MI in playoffs would have been a great match to watch. But that won't happen now. I'm sorry for the CSK fans. So okay, yeah, I'm sure that Mumbai will be there in top two.
Yes, so Shikhar, if you can come on this, Mumbai Indians looked unbeatable before the last game where they were defeated by the Rajasthan Royals, chasing 196. Ben Stokes and Sanju Samson were absolutely brilliant. Now you're seeing some signs of weakness with that team because Rahul Chahar got targeted on that day, and then Krunal Pandey as well wasn't at his best. And then you could see some signs of the bowling attack falling off the cliff, but we still know that it's a class bowling attack and they will deliver in the knockout stages, isn't it?
Like, see, we cannot question any bowling attack because you can see, if you see Ben Stoke, he is like the greatest in, like, one of the greatest player in this generation. And if you see the spinners, they were Rahul Chahar, who's a leggy, and Krunal Pandya, who is a left arm orthodox. So these are the kind of spinners that left-handed batsman wants to play. And once you know that if Ben Stokes is in form, he can take off any bowling attack. Like, you can remember the Edgbaston Test, he single-handedly won that, like, which was 137 run inning. So I don't think that MI will be worried with the last loss, and even MI fans are not worried with, because they have still three games left, and once Rohit Sharma comes in, everything will be settled, and it will be a great season, and it might be possible that they win for the first time in any 1 year.
Okay, in an even year, yeah. I was just waiting for you to finish because they're not winning the first time. They will be winning the Fifth time. Ninad Shikhar mentioned that things will be normal when Rohit comes back, but we have no news on Rohit. When is he coming back? He's not picked for that Australia tour, as I mentioned. What if Rohit doesn't come back for another 2 games? Is it a loss? Because as a batsman, you saw Saurabh Tiwari did well, but Rohit Sharma is Rohit Sharma, and you also need him as the captain, isn't it?
Yes, more than missing Rohit Sharma as a batsman, Mumbai is really going to miss Rohit Sharma as a captain because you can't. I mean, he's the best captain in IPL that there is. Sorry, CSK fans. Rohit Sharma is better than Dhoni in IPL.
Yeah,
And yeah,
don't agree with you. Yes, CSK fans don't agree with you on this.
yeah. So yeah, they really miss his leadership skills, and of course his batting. His batting has been really good. He looks to be in good touch, but sometimes gets out. But yeah, he's been scoring runs and chipping in occasionally. They're going to miss him mostly for his captaincy.
Yes, so Raghav Shah is saying that Warner and Saha, as Saha takes time at start, but after settling down, he can hit the ball with strike rate at 160. Yeah, I agree because even in the power play, he take advantage of the power play. If he comes to the middle order, he might just get stuck against the spinners like Ashwin and Akshar Patel. Shresh, your thoughts on Rohit Sharma and when will he come back? Obviously, nobody knows when he come back, but till then, does MI have a problem or they can manage without him?
I think Pollard has a lot of experience as well, and he has been leading his side in international as well as other cricket as well, like IPL. So I think Pollard also did a really good job in 2 games back with CSK, and you know what happened. So I don't know how serious the injury Rohit Sharma has, and I think that he won't play for the next 2 games. I feel that because he's not been picked for India squad as well.
Yeah, yeah,
So if Pollard is there, that won't be a very big issue because Pollard has that experience as well. But surely Rohit is Rohit, as you said.
yeah, exactly. And as Suresh
Shubham,
mentioned, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, Sumant, yeah. Yes, Sumant, go ahead.
Yeah, going back to your question about Rohit Sharma, I wanted to point out that uh,
Yeah,
even in the absence of Rohit Sharma, of course, as Vinod said, they'll miss him as the captain. They'll miss his. Can you hear me?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Wait. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, we can hear you, Sumant. Go
One
ahead.
second. One second. Okay. 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 Yeah. So I was saying that even in the absence of Rohit Sharma, these guys, the Mumbai Indians, they have excellent batsmen who can step up, and they have been doing so throughout the season. For example, Ishan Kishan, he's batted brilliantly throughout the tournament, and the knock, the knock by Hardik Pandya in the match against the Rajasthan Royals, 60 of 21 balls with
Yeah,
two fours, and 7 sixes. That was just amazing. Just blew the bowlers away. It was amazing to watch. And so, yeah, they have different batsmen who've stepped up on different occasions. Quinton de Kock, Surya Kumar Yadav, he batted really well in the last game. Pollard, Krunal Pandya, all these people, and even Saurav Tiwari in the previous game. So, sure, they batted really well. They lost the game just because of Ben Stokes' ton. But they have players who can step up even in the absence of Rohit Sharma, and I feel that'll be a huge factor for them going into the playoffs.
yeah, exactly. Now, talking about the playoffs, this is really interesting because we talk about making the top two because how important is making the top two? Let's have a look at that. I will just share the screen and show you how the playoffs work. They don't work as the normal semifinals, one versus four and two versus three. That's not how it works. If you can just see the screen, yeah. So this is how the playoffs work. First place second and third place fourth. So the top two teams will get another chance even if they lose. The winner directly goes to the final. The loser takes on the winner of the third and the fourth place team, and then the winner of that game plays the final. So what has happened over the last 9 years is the teams which finish in the top two play the final. It's one versus two in the final for 7 out of the 9 times. This system which has been implemented in the IPL. So it is very, very important for a team to finish in the top two, isn't it, Shreyash? And that's why we talk about MI, RCB, DC finishing in the top two.
Yes, completely agreed. Because being in top two is, of course, giving you an extra match if you had a bad day. And last game it was surely a bad day for MI, as everyone knows. They batted really well, but the bowling did come up that well. So I think being in top two will be what they will go for. And I already said that MI and RCB are my pick for top two places.
Shreyash Kadam OP in the chat is what I see, and then Suman Dangi is the best analyst. So yeah, we have the best analyst at Cricket Adda. So do subscribe to the channel as quickly as possible. Ninad,
Also, I would like to add a comment about Mumbai Indians. Like,
yeah,
in
yeah.
place of Saurabh Tiwari, if what do you think? Like, if they try Chris Lynn, will that be better, or it's okay to go with Saurabh Tiwari?
Ninad can answer this, but I will give my view quickly. That adds an overseas player, right? So you have to change with the balance of that. You might have to drop an overseas
Yeah,
fast bowler. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Go
Right.
ahead.
So yeah, what I think regarding this is if they want to take in Chrislin, they would have to, yes, drop Saurabh Tiwari and promote Chrislin for opening with Decock. And the fast bowler that they would have to drop is would be Pattinson, obviously, and probably take in a Dhaval Kulkarni instead of him. So yeah, this is the change I see if Chrislin has to be taken into the squad because there's no real chance of dropping Quinton de Kock. He's their leading run scorer this tournament. Trent Bolt has been amazing with the ball, pairing up with Bumrah for lethal stats. And yeah, Pollard is obviously their captain in the absence of Rohit Sharma. So yeah, I think Pattinson is the one who will have to be left out to make way for Lynn.
Yeah, the thing about Saurabh Tiwari is that nobody expected him to play in the first two games. Surprisingly, he scored runs. And now, even in the last game, when he was given an opportunity, he scored runs. So he's just coming in and scoring runs. So it's really difficult to drop him. Now, everybody's surprised by the runs he has scored because nobody expected him to be as good as he is. He has been in this tournament. So yeah, I don't think Chris Lynn will get a chance at the moment, but that is an option they can think of if they want to make a lot of changes. Because as Ninad mentioned, then they will have to drop an overseas fast bowler like James Pattinson and get in the Kulkarni. Shikhar, I would like to talk about this system. Raghav Shah has said in the comments that this is a good way to choose finalists in World Cup 2019. India and Australia, despite being in top two, none of them made it to the finals. Yes, it was England and New Zealand in the finals, but it was the best World Cup final we have ever seen. Does it make difficult for the third place and the fourth place team because they have to win 3 games in a row to win the title?
Like it's difficult for them for the third place and the fourth place team, but I think like you need to give some advantage to the first place and the second place. If I remember it well, in 2009, Delhi topped the league and
Yeah.
they were like absolutely smashing every team, but they were not able to like one bad day and they were not able to play the finals. So I think that was the reason for the system coming in. And I guess like it's a good system, and even I think like in World Cups, even in World Cups, if they are having a round robin format, then this should be the system for the playoffs.
Yes, so it definitely gives an advantage to the first and second place. And as Shikhar said, they should get the advantage because they are in the top two. They have managed to do well in the round robin system, like the league stage. We will see something else as well. This is how the schedule is for the playoffs. BCCI announced it in this week. So the first playoff qualifier 1 5th November 7th. The timing is same. Just the venue you have to see. Dubai is where the qualifier one and the final will take place. And most probably, as Shreya says, Mumbai Indians will be in both the matches. So You have to remember that Mumbai haven't won at Dubai. They have won at Abu Dhabi and they lost a couple of super overs at Dubai, so it might not be that easy for them. And Dubai is slowing down as a pitch. Abu Dhabi, we saw 190 scores in the last game, so that's something to watch out for. Eliminator and qualifier two is at Abu Dhabi, so the loser of qualifier one has to play at Abu Dhabi. Uh, some questions coming in. Let's take that. Sumant, if you can answer this, who would you pick between Mavi, Nagarkoti, and Krishna if you were a part of the KKR think tank?
I answered that in the chat, but I would probably pick Kamlesh Nagarkoti because I've seen the type of bowling he does, and he really, he hurries the batsman and he comes at you really quickly. And in the Under 19 World Cup, this guy Shiva Mavi and Nagarkoti, they bowled brilliantly, and Mavi has gotten a few opportunities for KKR in the past, but he's proved to be a tad bit expensive. So it would probably be better if Nagarkoti is given chances because Prasad Krishna has gotten several chances this IPL, and he hasn't really shown that um, you know outstanding performance that guarantees him a place in the 11. So yeah, I definitely think Nagarkoti should be given a chance.
Okay, so we have 10 more minutes before the game starts. We will talk about the top four, which we think. Before that, I would like all of you to give three youngsters who have really impressed you in this tournament, any Indian or overseas. So let's start with Shikhar. Three young players who have really impressed you.
See, first Devdutt Patikal, he has been absolutely brilliant because no, not only the way he played, but he had immense pressure because when the season started, everyone was like, Finch is not in form. Finch is not in the form which comes with his name, and RCB is always sorry. RCB is always dependent on the Virat Kohli and AB de Villiers, so he had great pressure on him. So Devdutt Patikal, then Ravi Bishnoi. He under the mentorship of Anil Kumble, he's been doing pretty well. He has taken wickets. Last match he bowled brilliantly. Like he took 2 wickets and gave 20 runs. Like it is considered as good as nothing. And even against that SRH game, he was brilliant. Like he was under pressure. He was being hit. Still, he took 2 wickets of like best to hold at 97, and David Warner, who was playing at around 52. And for the fourth spot, I would for the third, I don't think, but I see we can think of Shubman Gill, like he has scored runs, but as everyone knows that he's a technical player and he's a more of a he has more of a test batting style. He played well, but it had not been a great contribution to his team. So I guess Sam Curran would be the third one, slightly as Raghav said, because Sam Curran has been doing well. No matter how the team performed, he like against Mumbai, he fought alone. He's a pretty young lad to do that. And even when he was given the opportunity to open, he showed that he had some shots, and we know his bowling. We had seen him bowl in the England or India series that he can bowl pretty well, and he has shown that he can bowl in T20s as well. Just the thing that he needs to work on the death overs so that he becomes a complete package. These are
Yes.
my picks.
Yeah, interesting points made there. Sumant, let's get to you. Three youngsters who have impressed you in this tournament.
Three youngsters I feel would be one would be Sam Curran. He's basically carried the CSK side this season in fielding, whether it be in fielding, bowling, or batting. And another youngster that's really impressed me is Ishan Kishan. He's batted really well for Mumbai Indians. He's played those explosive knocks that make a difference in the middle overs. And then one more player who's really impressed me is obviously Devdutt Patikal. He's been an anchor at the top of the innings for RCB, and if you look at RCB's success this season, David Patikal is a huge part of that because he's been providing those brilliant starts to RCB. So he's been laying the foundation for the other batsmen, for Virat Kohli, for AB de Villiers, all these players to come and take the innings forward. So yeah, these are my
Yeah, sorry. Ninad, your three?
Okay, so if I would say young players, obviously players like Kagiso Rabada and Rashid Khan, I mean, their age is young, but then they've got a lot of international experience. But then, yeah, if I would say rising stars, someone like, yes, obviously Sam Curran, he has done really well for Chennai Super Kings. I feel like he's been their lone warrior, probably alongside Faf du Plessis. He's been there, he's been getting wickets, he's been bowling well, and obviously he's been contributing with the bat as well. So he's one good pick. I feel after that is Ravi Bishnoi. He has impressed quite a lot. He's even though he's taken 12 wickets in 12 matches, I believe. But
Yeah.
he gets those middle overs. He bowls tight middle overs, so I think he's a pretty good asset for Kings XI Punjab. And another option I would say is Rahul Chahar. He's also been amongst the wickets for Mumbai, and yeah, he's a really good uncapped player that I look forward to seeing in the Indian team pretty soon.
Yeah, so I would go with Ravi Bishnoi. I have become a fan of that guy. At the age of 18, he's bowling in the IPL. You expect players to go after him, and he's picking up wickets, bowling dot balls, bowling maiden overs. He has been phenomenal under the guidance of Anil Kumble, as Shikhar mentioned. Then DDP Devdutt Padikkar up at the top, as Shikhar mentioned. Really impressive, and you talk about RCB, and it's always Virat and AB, but this guy has done something. And if you see the stats, RCB have lost each and every game when he has not scored 25 or more. Whenever he has scored 25 or less, RCB have lost. So that tells something, that giving an important start, his important start is really important for RCB. And then Karthik Tyagi, I liked his style of bowling, even though Hardik Pandya smashed him in the last game. He has the potential to bowl Yorkers, bowls good pace, good bounces at the pace of 140. So he is one for the future, and I think he's going to Australia as well as a net bowler. So that's something to watch out for. A question came in the chats, and Sumant has answered that. Would you advise a complete squad revamp for KKR in the big auction? Russell and Narain have declined, and Gill hasn't lived up to his full potential yet. So what Sumant is saying, that Gill has immense potential, so definitely would retain him for future seasons. Russell as well is too good a player to be out of form for long, so he'll probably be retained as well. And Narain is the only one I see being released, as he hasn't been as effective after the bowling action revamp, and it may be better to bring in a better all-rounder in his place. Yeah, so I mostly agree with Suman there, because see, the thing about Shubman Gill is he's also putting.
What's the limit, Shubham?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was asking, what's the limit of the number of players you can have in the squad?
Yeah, so in the squad right now it's 25.
It's 25. Okay, because KKR
Yeah,
only have 22 players, I think, 22 or 23 players. So they still have room for a few new players, which they can
yeah.
get and maybe release a few. But yep, I still stand by what I put in the comments that Narayan is the only one I see being released.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But see, next year obviously there is no fresh auction. But Sumit has
Yeah.
asked about auction. So what I think is, Sumant is a bang on there. Gill has to be there, because they are looking at Gill as a potential future captain for them. So Gill has to be there. Maybe you see Dinesh Karthik not there. Who else? Russell has to be there. Morgan might be there, because he is a pretty good player as well. So Morgan has to be there. And then you might bank on those young pacers. Varun Chakravarti will be a player to watch out for in the couple of years. So they have a lot of players to retain and use the RTM card. So that would be interesting. The fresh auction is a bit bit far away from right now. So yeah, before we go, we have just a couple of minutes remaining before the match starts. Ninad, quickly your top four for this season. MI, RCB, DC. Obviously, do you think they are making the top four, and who is the fourth team? Is it Punjab, as you keep saying on our WhatsApp group?
Yes, it's going to be Punjab.
Okay, so it's MI, DC, RCB, and Punjab for Ninad. Sumant, no Chennai, so don't pick Chennai here. So your top four.
My top four. I think it would be the top four that is there currently. So Mumbai, Delhi Capitals, RCB, and Kings XI Punjab.
Okay, Shikhar, your top four.
Yeah, the same like the top four which we have now currently will be the top four.
Shreyash is back, so let's ask him. I think you have mentioned MI and RCB in the top two. Who are the bottom? Who are the third and fourth place teams?
Yeah, for me, I've already answered that third. DC will shift to third position, and the fourth one will be K11P according to me.
Okay, so Saurabh is also asking for a top two and winner. So I will go with my top four first. I think three. Obviously, everybody has the same MI, RCB, DC. I still think KKR has a chance. KKR has a chance of winning those two games if they get their batting order right. I think KKR will make it. Let's see. I'm making a off-field choice here. Then add your top two and winner as well before we end this stream.
All right. I think the top two in this season would be MI and RCB, and RCB would go on to get their first title of the IPL finally.
Okay, so
Inshallah,
an
sapna mere.
MI fan is saying that our RCB is going to win the cup. Interesting. Interesting. Sumant, Chennai can't win the cup, so who wins the cup this year?
I'm over that. I'm over Chennai
Okay.
now. It's okay.
Okay.
But it's probably from me Mumbai Indians and RCB. Those are my top two. And winning the cup, it'll be a close competition, but I feel that it'll probably be MI because they've been in those pressure situations before. They've won four cups already, I believe. So they know how to win and they have the resources to do so.
Shikhar?
I think Mumbai and DC will be the top two teams, and there might be a great final between DC and KXIP because the way KXIP is playing, I think they will for sure reach the finals. So it would be a great contest between DC and KXIP.
Okay, so he is going for a third or fourth place team to make it to the finals. Shresh, quickly, your top two and
Yeah, see,
win.
ideally, I have said that MI and RCB are the top two, so I feel that these two will be the finalists. But as you know, that Punjab is in red hot form, so I think Punjab can also come up to the final. So that's what I feel.
I actually agree with Ninad there. MI RCB will play the final, and most probably, I'm hoping that RCB wins this year so that we get a new champion. Let's see quickly, everybody, if they can unmute themselves, tell the winner for the today's game. SRHDC, who's moving up the table, who is staying at that position before we end the stream.
I guess DC will win this one because I think mentally SRH have lost it, and if I see there's a wicket has also already fallen for
Mm,
SRH.
that's it.
Yeah,
I think that there was a run out chance, but they lost
okay.
it.
So it
There
might
was
be a
a run
glitch
out
on
chance.
there might be a glitch on IPL side. I don't know, but they are showing the wicket has fallen. So DC will win for today's game.
Ninad, quickly, DCSH.
I'm hoping SRH should win, but I think DC has got this one in the bag.
Yeah, even I feel DC is winning this one.
Okay, so changes in playing 11 would cost SRH, says Raghav Shah. Sumit Chatterjee says, I'm on my knees for KR to qualify. Saurabh Wandekar and Vijay Agarwal say SRH win. Raghav Shah says DC wins this game. Let's see. Thank you very much for being on this show. Shreyash Kadam, Shikhar Sarang, Suman Dangi, Ninad Lakde. Thank you for all those who asked your questions and we tried to answer them. We might be back before the playoffs. We will have one more live session if possible. Hope you join us for that as well. Quickly subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you know you get the notifications whenever we come live. That's it for the day. Thank you very much.